Hey everyone, Todd here, internalarchitect.com, and in this video you're going to learn about ghost pains. Now, this is something that I really had to figure out what was going on after all my treatment as a survivor, because I became hyper aware of all the treatments and all the understanding of what was happening in my body during that time that I was undergoing all my chemotherapy. Because of this, you just learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about how your body works, and then all the different things that you feel as you are going through it, and even after it too. And I became that hyper awareness really is the best word for it, because you really are feeling a lot of different things. You're feeling a lot of emotions. You're feeling a lot of physical things that are going on with your body, and you end up becoming really concerned when you start feeling things that aren't normal. When I would end up having little pains of that were going on in my right side where my liver was one of the things that really made me concerned. And I also had neck, weird neck pains, and just soreness and whatever. And these were the things that really I couldn't really explain, and I would ask my oncologist, my doctor, about it, and they weren't really sure what it would be either, because I kept coming back with good bills of health. All my blood work kept looking good. So all these things that were going on, all these pains that I was feeling, and were very possible a manifestation of just my subconscious having gone through this whole experience, making things up, right? And that's why I call them ghost pains, because at the end of the day, it wasn't horrible, it wasn't debilitating, for me at least, but it was enough to really continue bringing the concern in my head, like, am I having another reoccurrence? Is this really are we going down this path again? And that was really a tough one to kind of work through mentally, because you're never able to get over that next hurdle, because you're basically on guard. You're just kind of taken, like, okay, is it coming back? What's going on here? And there was a point where I needed to have some sort of a definition to this issue. And I came up with ghost pains, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate. Maybe you've even thought of it yourself. And that was the best way for me to kind of wrap my head around why I was feeling these weird and sometimes intense pains that were going on in my chest, in my legs, and in my arms, and in my feet, whatever. And by doing this and by giving this some sort of a definition, I was able to start differentiating kind of the pains that I was feeling. I was able to assess how these pains were happening, where they were happening, and when they were happening. And by doing this, I was able to figure out how this was going to affect kind of the next steps. And I was able to use these pains as a way to figure out if they were really legitimate or if they were not. And a huge majority, 95% of the time, these pains that I was feeling were not anything that was really important to address immediately. Most of the time, these pains would come and go, and they would be in certain spots that were a little bit more in areas where I had surgeries or where I had biopsies done, kind of a lot of different spots. Like, occasionally I get some weird ghost pains that happen where my biopsy happened in my liver. I get some pains in my armpit where I had my lymph node removed. Even in my mediastinoscopy, I get some weird sensations and things that happen there. And even where I had my bone biopsy in my hip, I get some weird spots. Some of this might be able to be chalked up to some old sports injuries that I had, but a lot of the strange pains that I'm getting, I think, were really induced from a lot of the chemotherapy and a lot of the treatment that I was going through at the time. And by knowing this and really kind of feeling this, I'm able to, like I said, just really become a lot more at ease and a lot more at peace with the entire feelings that I go through. Since I still snowboard, and since I still am really pretty active, I'm still very aware of all the things that are going on. I'm doing a lot more in understanding how my heart works and how that relates to sport activities. I even got a GPS heart monitor watch so that I can really keep an eye on that when I'm super active. And I'm also keeping an eye on if I have ghost pains when I'm really active also. So these are things that I've been able to do. I've just taken a lot more interest in what my body's telling me and how I'm feeling because of these ghost pains. I mean, this was a huge thing for me to really wrap my head around and really feel like I'm comfortable with now. It took a lot of time and it took a lot of energy to really work my way through all this stuff and then come up with something that made sense to me. So I suggest for you guys out there that are listening to the video that maybe you're feeling some weird ghost pains, maybe you're feeling some true serious pains, is really just have a moment and really figure out what it is that is going on. If it's something that's just kind of, it comes in for a little bit, seems a little intense and just kind of goes away, it might be a ghost pain, it might be a real pain, but just pay attention. Does it happen more often than not? Does it just kind of come and go on weird random spots? Hard to say, but I can say that just pay attention to them. Sometimes these pains are very legitimate and need to be addressed, and sometimes they don't. I've learned with my body which pains that I experience are not to be of concern. And it's taken a while. I mean, I'm 8.5 years out now of knowing how this has affected my body. And so far, so good, but it still happens. I still feel certain pains, and I'm able to distinguish what ones I think are ghost pain and which ones are not. So take that time to really learn the body. I mean, it didn't take me 8.5 years to know this, but it took me a year or two to really start uncompressing all the information that my body was telling me and start learning what was kind of happening. And maybe, ghost pains is a great way to explain how you're feeling these crazy sensations that are going through your body as a survivor. So yeah, take the time to do that. And if you have any questions, hit me in the comment section below and I'll respond to them as quickly as I can. And give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you like what you're hearing, and do what you guys do. I really do appreciate your time and your energy into watching the videos, and my goal is to continue just adding value to what it is that you guys might be experiencing. As a survivor, I've been able to go through it, and I'm still here to be able to talk about it, and I'm going to continue doing that. So thank you again so much, and I will see you on the next video.